on DD India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departs for India after a successful Bhutan visit. India and Bhutan's ancient connect renewed as Prime Minister visits National Chorten Memorial, receives warm welcome with traditional cultural performance in Thimpu. Prime Minister Modi addresses the students at Royal University of Bhutan, highlights ancient educational links between the two nations, says India and Bhutan will cooperate extensively in new frontiers from schools to space, digital payments to disaster management. Restrictions being phased out gradually in Jammu and Kashmir, over 50,000 landlines activated. Prohibitory orders lifted from several police station areas. Schools to open tomorrow. Senior BJP leader Rajnath Singh kicks off BJP campaign for Vidhan Sabha elections in Haryana with Jan Ashirwad Yatra, gives stern message to Pakistan, saying that talks will be held only if it stops supporting terror. Good evening and welcome to this bulletin. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departed from Peru airport for home after a successful two-day visit to Bhutan. Prime Minister Lote Tshering of Bhutan himself bid adieu to PM Modi at the airport. And day two of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bhutan visit began with an address to students at Royal University of Bhutan. He said Bhutan's past, present and future share common and constant threads of deep spirituality and youthful vigor. He also described India and Bhutan as natural partners who are close not just due to geography, but also with the great attachment people of both countries share with each other. Prime Minister said that history, culture, spiritual traditions of India and Bhutan have created deep and unique bonds between our peoples and nations. Prime Minister of the world's largest democracy addressing what is perhaps the world's smallest university, the Royal Bhutan University. The sentiment beautifully put by this young student.
This is the first time one of the greatest leaders of the world's largest democracy has come to speak to students of one of the smallest universities.
The bond of education that India and Bhutan share is an ancient one and remains central to the ties the two countries share.
We are all very happy. We could give what we wanted. We could get what we wanted, mainly in terms of getting heart-to-heart connection. I think the theme of this visit is humane touch. Theme of the visit is a friendly visit. Yes, officially it's called state visit, but from our side and from Narendra Modi, Prime Minister's side, it's a very, very spiritual and friendly visit.
This is evident from the fact that out of 9 MOUs inked on Saturday, 7 were in the field of education. The interconnection between Indian National Knowledge Network and DRUCREN was also inaugurated. This will enable collaborative research, development and enable knowledge and information sharing. Addressing the young minds at the Royal Bhutan University, Prime Minister Modi said, the bond of learning between India and Bhutan is as modern as it is ancient.
Education and learning have been central to this ties between India and Bhutan. In ancient times, Buddhist teachers and scholars formed the bridge of learning between our peoples. We welcome more students of Buddhism from Bhutan in institutions such as Nalanda University.
Another aspect of India-Bhutan ties that has seen a fillip is space cooperation. The Thimpu ground station of South Asia satellite was also jointly inaugurated. PM Modi said that India and Bhutan are moving beyond the traditional sectors of cooperation and are exploring new frontiers for collaboration. PM spoke of India's moon mission, Chandrayaan-2, and expressed hope that Bhutan space scientists will benefit from our experiences and learnings.
For us, the space program is not just a matter of national pride. It is a vital instrument of national development and global cooperation. Through satellites, benefits of telemedicine, distance education, resource mapping, weather forecasts, and even warning of natural disasters will reach even remote areas. It is even a matter of great happiness that young Bhutanese scientists will travel to India to work on designing and launching Bhutan's own small satellite.
Prime Minister hailed Bhutan as a land of happiness, harmony, togetherness and compassion. He said that Bhutan is known across the world for the concept of gross national happiness. PM said that this very spirit radiated from the adorable children who lined the streets to welcome him on Saturday.
Bhutan's message to humanity is happiness. Happiness which springs from harmony. The world can do with a lot more happiness. Happiness which shall prevail over mindless hate.
Prime Minister Modi's message over his two-day visit was clear. As Bhutan soars high in its endeavours, 1.3 billion Indians will partner with the land of the Thunder Dragon, share with the nation of happiness and learn from it.
The highlight of the two-day visit to Bhutan has been the visit of Indian Prime Minister to the Royal University of Bhutan and interaction with the students. And to quote PM Modi himself, with the happiness and energy of youth, sustainable development is quite possible.
With Vishal Baristo, Sudhakar Das and Neeraj Singh in Thimpu for DD News. And continuing the long tradition of exchange of knowledge between India and Bhutan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the young minds at the Royal University of Bhutan. His book, Exam Warriors, was deeply appreciated by students at the university. Prime Minister asked the students to do extraordinary things which will impact the generations to come.
I was absolutely delighted to read Your Excellency's book titled Exam Warriors, which I believe is full of truths about giving the power to empower. An inspiring phrase that caught my attention from the book was, and I quote, "Discover yourself, experience all that life offers, step out of your comfort zone, do different things and do things differently."
Advice from a father to his daughter, advice from a prime minister to youngsters across the world.
There is no better time to be young than now. The world today offers more opportunities than ever before. You have the power and potential to do extraordinary things which will impact generations to come. Find your real calling and pursue it with full passion.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has penned Exam Warriors, a unique book that acts as a guide to life for students. Prime Minister Dr. Lote Shering wrote a Facebook post about the book a few days before Prime Minister Modi's visit. He wrote,
I flipped through the pages of the book directed at young people as he deconstructs the idea of exam, which many view as life-determining. Woven with personal anecdotes, the content is so simple for a child to comprehend, yet so profound and practical. Such is Narendra Modi ji. In this book, as he highlights many life lessons, he says, forget dreaming about becoming a Prime Minister. I was never even a class monitor. He exudes so much positivity, not just in the book, but even in person. For someone who has to think for billions of people and represent them on the global stage, he takes time out to prepare children on handling exams. Is not empathy an intrinsic quality of a good leader?
Prime Minister thanked Prime Minister Lotse Shering for his Facebook post. He said that Buddhism was the inspiration behind the mantras he shared in the book.
Exam Warriors is influenced by the teachings of Lord Buddha, particularly the importance of positivity, overcoming fear, and living in oneness, be it with present moment or with Mother Nature.
Students at the Royal Bhutan University also appreciated both the book as well as Prime Minister Modi's address.
The book, Exam Warriors, became a friend not only to me, but also to millions of youth, not only while taking exams, but also in facing life.
His speech was really motivating and encouraging to the students as well the audience here, because from his speech he talked about the strong bond between the India and Bhutan, and that is the main key to the success of the prosperity and success of the two countries.
बहुत अच्छा लगा और फिर हम फोटो सेशन भी था, बहुत golden opportunity है हमारे लिए.
Prime Minister Modi's mantra of success for youngsters is simple. Find innovative solutions to overcome challenges. Let no limitation constrain you. Find your real calling and pursue it with full passion for the larger good. Vishal Beristo, Sudhakar Das and Neeraj Singh in Thimpu for DD News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also visited National Memorial Chorten, a prominent landmark of worship and tourist attraction in Thimpu Valley, Bhutan. This stupa, which is predominantly white with spires of gold, was constructed in honor of the father of modern Bhutan in 1974. The stupa, unlike others, does not enshrine any human remains. Only the third Druk Kyalpo's photo in a ceremonial dress adorns a hall in the ground floor. Owing to its rich history, the Chorten commands immense religious devotion and worship. PM Narendra Modi paid his respects at the memorial honoring late third Druk Kyalpo. And His Majesty the King of Bhutan and Her Majesty Gyaltsen hosted a special lunch in honor of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that was high in symbolism and warmth. It was a befitting conclusion to a landmark visit by Prime Minister Modi to Bhutan. Back home in Jammu and Kashmir, restrictions on movement of people were eased and landline phone services restored in some areas of Kashmir Valley on Saturday. Even as stringent security arrangements remained in place. Restrictions have been relaxed in 35 police station areas of Kashmir, while 17 telephone exchanges out of 96 have been made functional. More than 50,000 landline phones are operational now. The services will be restored in other areas in a calibrated manner. Security forces continue to man barricades on road but allowed people to move after checking their credentials.
So we started the process of easing of communications, and in the morning I had informed you that 17 exchanges throughout the Kashmir Valley had been made functional, resulting in functionality of landline communication. So as we speak, the authorities are on the job of releasing further telephone connections, and by end of day today, we hope that nearly 23,000 landline connections across Kashmir Valley will be made functional.
In Jammu region, restrictions have been eased in 5 more districts. Restrictions were eased in Kishtwar, Doda and Ramban districts, in Chenab Valley and border districts of Poonch and Rajouri in Pir Panjal region on Saturday morning. Principal Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir, Rohit Kansal, said educational institutions will be reopened from Monday.
We are planning to open schools on Monday. for which the necessary preparatory exercise has already been done. We also have the Hajis returning tomorrow, for which the Divisional Administration Kashmir has made adequate arrangements for facilitation.
Sending a stern message to Pakistan, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today clarified that talks with Pakistan is only possible when Islamabad stops sponsoring terror. During Jan Ashirwad Yatra in Haryana, he also said that India will hold talks on POK with Pakistan only.
कहते हैं पाकिस्तान के लोग, भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच बात होनी चाहिए। किस बात पर बात होनी चाहिए? कौन सा मुद्दा है जिस पर बात होनी चाहिए? क्यों बात होनी चाहिए? बात यदि पाकिस्तान के साथ होगी तभी होगी जबकि जो आतंकवाद को संरक्षण देने का काम, पैदा करने का काम पाकिस्तान अपनी धरती पर कर रहा है, जब तक उस आतंकवाद को समाप्त नहीं करता है तो पाकिस्तान से बातचीत करने का कोई कारण नहीं है मेरे बहनों भाई। और आगे भी जो बातचीत होगी, किस मुद्दे पर बातचीत होगी? अरे बात होगी अब तो पाक अधिकृत कश्मीर पर बात होगी बहनों भाई, और किसी मुद्दे पर बात नहीं होगी।
And lauding the government's decision of scrapping Article 370, he said that BJP government takes decision in the interest of the nation and not of the party.
लोग कहते थे कि धारा 370 को यदि जिस समय टच करने की कोशिश करेंगे, छूने की कोशिश करेंगे, देश बढ़ जाएगा। और लोग कहते थे कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी फिर सत्ता में नहीं आ पाएगी। मैं दो टूक शब्दों में कहना चाहता हूं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी मेरे बहनों भाइयों केवल सरकार बनाने के लिए राजनीति नहीं करती है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी राजनीति करती है तो देश बनाने के लिए राजनीति करती है, केवल सरकार बनाने के लिए हम राजनीति नहीं करते।
Addressing the gathering, Rajnath Singh said that government is committed for the welfare of farmers. He said that BJP-led government at the centre aims to double the income of farmers by 2021.
किसान होने के नाते ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग की तरफ आप जाइए। 2022 छोड़ दीजिए, 2022 आते आते केवल आपकी आमदनी 2 गुना नहीं होगी, बल्कि 2023-24 होते होते आपकी आमदनी जितनी आज है उसकी 2.5 गुना हो जाएगी। मैं यह दावे के साथ मैं कहता हूं।
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Saturday held talks with Lithuanian President Nausėda and discussed important aspects of bilateral relationship as well as global and regional issues of common interest. Vice President, who is on a 3-nation visit to the Baltic region, also briefed Lithuanian President on the recent decision of the Indian government to abrogate Article 370 of the Constitution that conferred special status upon Jammu and Kashmir. He also informed Lithuanian President that more than 100 progressive legislations have now become applicable to the 2 union territories. They include reservation of seats for women in panchayats as local self-governments, implementing child protection programs, ensuring right to education for children and protecting women from domestic violence. Vice President will address the Indian community today. He is on a 5-day trip to Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, the first ever high-level visit from India to the 3 Baltic countries. Union Minister for Environment and Forests Prakash Javadekar has said that coming together of basic countries, that's Brazil, South Africa, India and China, and putting views together is an important aspect of United Nations negotiations. Speaking at the 28th Basic Ministerial Meeting on Climate Change in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Environment Minister said that BASIC group could play an important role in making Paris Agreement accepted by all countries in its true letter and spirit. He added that BASIC countries would be united and speak in one voice, and the joint statement which was issued has highlighted all the issues which are of relevance today. Some weather update now. Heavy rain slashed several parts of the country, disrupting normal life. In Himachal Pradesh, heavy rains in several areas triggered flash floods and landslides, disrupting road traffic, and it also prompted the Kangra District Administration to order closure of schools. The Mandi-Kullu National Highway has also been closed for vehicles following heavy rains. The road was closed for vehicles as the water in Beas River rose to a dangerous level. Several vehicles are stranded due to the roadblock, but no loss of life or property has been reported. The Met Department has warned of heavy rains in low and middle hills of the state, especially in Shimla, Solan, Mandi and Kangra districts. As heavy rains lashed several parts of Uttarakashi district, nearly a dozen roads including Gangotri and Yamunotri national highways remained blocked for several hours due to flash flood and landslides, leaving several commuters stranded. The Gangotri highway near Army camp in Harshil area was closed due to a landslide following heavy rainfall in the area. The highway was shut after boulders fell on the road, blocking traffic on both sides. In Punjab, an alert has been sounded in several districts following the release of excess water from Bhagra Dam through the spill gates after heavy rainfall in its catchment area. People living in Satluj River and low-lying areas have been advised to be vigilant and take precautions to safeguard themselves. Meanwhile, Delhiites woke up to a rainy day today. Rainfall lashed out in many parts of Delhi NCR, leaving weather pleasant, but also causing waterlogging in several areas, affecting vehicular traffic. The Met Department has forecast that weather will remain cloudy with moderate rains for a few days. In Rajasthan, several rivers and dams are overflowing due to incessant rainfall, and adequate measures are being taken to keep the situation under control. The Chambal River is 12 meters above the danger mark in Dholpur. In Tonk, Bisalpur Dam is almost filled and its gates can be opened anytime. An advisory in this regard has already been issued by the administration. Andhra Pradesh too received heavy showers with swollen Krishna River, leaving around 80 villages and hundreds of acres of farmland under a sheet of water in two districts. Krishna River is flowing above the danger mark in Vijayawada district of Andhra Pradesh, while the NDRF team has retrieved a body of a girl who drowned in the river. Death toll has reached to 2. Several villages and farmland have inundated in water. People in Kerala have started returning to their homes from relief camps. Search operations are continuing at Kavalapara in Mallapuram and Puttamala in Wayanad, the two areas which were the worst hit in the second spell of southwest monsoon rains and floods since August 8th, where massive landslides had wiped out nearly 2 villages. And due to bad weather, out of 11 flights, 9 flights have been cancelled for Leh today. Tourists are facing problem due to cancellation of flights. And the heavy downpour has caused waterlogging on multiple stretches of West Bengal's Kolkata. Commuters were seen stuck in traffic and pedestrian movement was also disrupted due to torrential rains. Some international news now. At least 63 people were killed and over 180 injured in an explosion targeting a wedding in Afghan capital Kabul. The blast, which took place late on Saturday, came as Washington and Taliban are in the final stages of a deal to reduce the US military presence in Afghanistan. However, Taliban denied any involvement in the latest attack. The latest blast comes just 10 days after a huge bomb attack outside a Kabul police station killed at least 14 people and injured nearly 150. Sudan's ruling military council and civilian opposition alliance have signed a landmark power-sharing deal. The deal was signed by Hemeti Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah Abdel Rahman Burhan for the military council and Ahmad Al-Rabi for the Alliance for Freedom and Change umbrella group of pro-democracy protesters. The Prime Ministers of Ethiopia and Egypt and South Sudanese President were among the regional leaders attending the ceremony. The agreement ushers in a new governing council, including both civilian and generals, to pave the way towards elections and civilian rule in the future. Sudan has seen pro-democracy protests and repression since long-time ruler Omar al-Bashir was ousted in April. And with that, we conclude this bulletin. News and updates continue after a short break. Namaskar.